This is a very important video, and so the goal is for me to explain in depth how I am creating my loadouts and how I'm switching through them in the match. And also I want you to describe how you choose your loadouts. Maybe you have some observations as well, because I want, well, for myself and for the viewers to improve in this regard. As I've noticed how even good players, like I've been playing in full squads, in near leaderboard or even leaderboard lobbies, and I still see them making some pretty simple mistakes which can simply lead to losing a battle. So the very first loadout is HVK. I will go through the score streaks, everything, but like many of them will be repeating, so I will not repeat them in each other sections. And so HVK is a gun that is having a very fast fire rate, and used to be the main option before BP50 was introduced, but it is still a very competitive choice. Now, just what's worth noting is that you do run out of bullets quickly, and so with a bad team I would not use it, because you kind of need to have a backup while reloading. Now, a thing that gives some sort of a backup is the quick fix pack, because let's say I kill some enemies, I start to heal up faster, and then even if some enemy lands some shots at me while I'm reloading, there is a chance that I will survive it. However, since I do not have the cold-blooded pack on this loadout, which is absolutely crucial against stealth choppers, as you can see I have the Predator missile, because essentially it has the same endgame like a stealth chopper appears, I can destroy it with the Pred. And otherwise, the cold-blooded pack, well, I will get to it later, but it is an absolute must whenever you can place it in your loadout. Equalizer is just great for ripping through enemies, getting multiple kills. And let's say I lead with HVK, kill some enemies, when I finish more off with the equalizer, and usually it helps to unlock the more expensive score streaks. So in this case, Pred Missile and Stealth Chopper. Now the Stealth Chopper, it is a very silly pack score streak because it is very easy to counter. But like I said, people still do not seem to use the cold-blooded pack, which makes you fully immune to it. And who knows, maybe after this video people will start avoiding Stealth Chopper correctly, but until that happens I will be using it, because you can get many kills and it can even be a game changer. Worst case, you deploy it, it gets destroyed, but like, if it doesn't, then it is value. UAV is in every loadout, it is just to make enemy location visible. Now it has this like burst visibility, so it is not as good as advanced UAV, but it is super easy to unlock. And I mean, it is very important to know where the enemies are before you're making moves, before you're pushing somewhere, or if you want to decide whether you should just protect some area or you can go away. Molotov is my favorite throwable, because I can just throw it in some location where I expect enemies would try to get through. For instance, some entry of a objective or a like hardpoint point, and it either just burns them a little bit and they become easier to kill, or they go through other entry and it kind of seals it, which is strategically very good. And like, I don't even care if it burns them or not. If I manage to seal one area, it is great. Trophy system is great for securing an area from the enemy throwables, whether it would be grenades, molotovs, or like flashbangs, concussion grenades. And another really good use is the ability to place it again, like in front of an entrance or somewhere where I think enemies would want to throw a nade from, because in such case it not only prevents it from being like thrown, but also just destroys the said enemy. Now, I said strategic advantage twice, but I do not try to go like all mastermind during a battle. I simply know the locations. I know where enemies would want to throw something from. I know where they would want to be pushing through. And so I simply just, whenever I'm close to that location, I just drop it, either a Molotov or a trophy. So it is like, it is strategic, but it is also just, I know the locations and I drop them there without much thinking. Next loadout is a DRH loadout, and almost everything is identical except I'm using lightweight instead of pinpoint. Now, I do not remember if I already covered the pinpoint, but basically It enhances aim assist and also highlights the enemy location. So with a weapon like HVK, which has a small mag, I kind of want the extra accuracy just to make sure that my bullets are hitting in the correct area, that is the enemy. And DH, I prefer lightweight for faster movement, because it is a bit more versatile. It does not have as fast fire rate, but the damage is better. And essentially in the current meta I would say that DH would be a more optimal choice, because again it is just easier to use, you don't have to be as worried about running out of bullets. But like I said, everything else here besides the red pack is identical, and of course the gun itself. And again, pred missile just to take down choppers or whatever, but I'm not protected without using the cold-blooded pack. Also like sentry guns, oh, and it can destroy Goliath. I think that after this video I will add it in the more loadouts. Because as I said at the start, the goal of the video is for me and you to improve, so if I see something that I could improve on, then I will certainly do so. And so the BP50 loadout, it is my main one, even though I don't really like using the gun, but it is just the best in the current meta setting. And here, what you will find different besides the gun is the addition of Dauntless and finally the mentioned Cold-Blooded. And also advanced UAV instead of the Predator missile, because I don't feel as much of a need to have the Pred when I have the Cold-Blooded. And so like I said, advanced UAV just makes enemy location fully shown, which is great. You can just get easy kills, you know where they are, and it helps teammates as well. So for as long as you are able to unlock it, it is an absolute must. And having backup of Equalizer, it does help to unlock it quite consistently. And now the cold-blooded pack. So what it does, it makes you immune to artificial intelligence operated caustics. So basically, enemy deploys stealth chopper. It simply does not target you. You just run around, you ignore the stealth chopper, it does not kill you. Sentry gun. In a objective area also it does nothing to you, it does not see you. Hunter killer drones, now these, I think from the swarm they still hit me somehow, but regular ones we also just don't target me. And shocker seas. They just do nothing, they just drive past. And considering that most of these caustics they appear at least once or even a few times in every match, Cold-Blooded is near crucial and vital and a must-use pack. Now another thing I have here is the Dauntless, which prevents me from burning from the Molotovs, also decreases the burning damage of the Transform Shield, and some other things that can burn. And so with this loadout I can pretty much just run around the map without worrying about burning damage, without worrying about stealth choppers, shocker seas, sentry guns, and I can primarily just focus on destroying enemies. Now the disadvantage, the lack of quick fix, I don't really feel it, honestly. And I think that this setup is great for a more aggressive playstyle, because if you want to be a bit more versatile, then there are some other caustic variations or pack variations, which I will show in other loadouts. PP90 Bison I like using, it is essentially a BP50 variant which does not kill as fast, but also has big mag and it has better strafing. Like I can just start spraying bullets at enemies and just move to side so they don't kill me. And the advantage of it is, well, basically you don't have to be as accurate as you would have to with the BP50 or HVK, for example. And I mean, it is good if you're like already getting tired or just want to not be as focused on your accuracy. And to increase this I also have the aim assist pack, the pinpoint one as you can see, so basically it also helps to aim better. And the combination of everything just makes it a very nice loadout to use when I just don't want to be as focused but still want to have results. Another notable difference is the inclusion of the Purifier Operator skill. Now it does not have as good of a range as Equalizer, but it burns enemies faster, and so it is good for wiping out areas because you can get like 3-4 kills. As long as enemies not too far, you just burn them and they die. And even Dauntless, even though it does decrease the burning damage, but it does not prevent you from dying. So you should keep it in mind that Purifier will still destroy, unlike the Transfer of Shield or the Molotov if you're using the Dauntless. And overall this loadout, well, I simply like PP90 Bison, and if you don't, you certainly don't have to use this gun, you don't have to make such loadout. I'm just explaining the choices, like of the weapon, of the setup, of everything. And the same is true for this Fennec loadout, just it is for situations when I'm using BP50 but it is not fast enough, like I want faster EDS time, and just to focus on aggressive close range kills. So Fennec is the most aggressive SMG, it would be the best option. But if you don't like it, you can use Switchblade X9 or VCX9 instead. Now a few highlights here would be the concussion, not concussion, the flashbang grenade, which just blinds enemies, so usually I just toss it inside some objective location, blind them, and then I push with the Fennec to kill them. Also the Skulker perk for better not sprinting movement but overall movement, and Toughness perk to reduce the hit flinch, because even though sometimes I use other green perks for this loadout, but I have lost some gunfights just because of the hit flinch. Like I was close to finishing enemy off, but they just caused me to flinch and killed me instead. And Shocker C instead of like Pred Missile or Advanced UAV, because with Fennec I do die a lot usually, and while I still have the potential of unlocking the Stealth Chopper because of the Equalizer backup, but Shocker sees value in this loadout and it is easy to unlock. I unlock it many times when using it, so it just fits everything here perfectly. Now this is a hybrid loadout of PDW and FHJ. PDW, I made a comparison video comparing it with the BP50 and it does not kill as fast but has way better mobility. And in some lobbies it would be a better choice. And in general, in most lobbies it is quite usable at the moment. And just I did not have loadout space, so I combined it with FHJ. And well, I mean, I don't really need a melee with the PDW, it has good movement. So maybe not even loadout space like it, just fits this loadout. And so everything else is almost like the BP50 loadout, except I also have the launcher support blue pack, which basically helps me to steal a Skosirik that I destroy. To illustrate, enemy deploys Stealth Chopper, I destroy Stealth Chopper, and suddenly I have a Stealth Chopper that I can deploy myself. And it also works on Goliaths, on regular UAVs, just you have to, and on everything else. Just you have to keep in mind that if you had, let's say, Stealth Chopper stolen and Skosirik is available, but when you destroy UAV, there is a chance that it will be replaced with a UAV. So after stealing successfully Skosirik, you should first activate it before blowing another. And also this strategy is great when you are not on the losing side, because if a Stealth Chopper appears, it is better to just switch to your cold-blooded loadout with which you can be active, like run around and kill people and contribute to like securing OBG and whatever, instead of wasting time taking it down. And I have seen some games where we are losing, there is a Stealth Chopper in the sky and teammates decide to just shoot it, instead of going to a BC point whatever to just not lose the match. And la-di-da, Chopper is down but we lost. Although this hybrid loadout, like I can switch to it, and instead of taking down the Chopper I could first run with PDW, clear some area, and then from that area just start shooting with FHJ. That would be the more suitable approach. And like I said, in other cases I will just use some other cold-blooded loadout with which I can simply ignore Stealth Chopper instead of trying to destroy it. Now it is not as helpful for the team, but now assume that the team also has cold-blooded loadout, that they have watched this video, and so they see Stealth Chopper, we just switch to whatever other loadout with cold-blooded and ignore it. And enemies just wasted time trying to unlock it and it does nothing. Type 19 is my versatile assault rifle loadout. I used to use the Grau, but in the season I prefer the better bullet latch on like aim assist of the Type 19, and also the range. And everything else is pretty similar to other loadouts, except we have the Ghost perk here. So this perk makes me invisible in regular UAVs, And it is good because I can sneak up on enemies, or I can even shoot at them like from some cover, some head glitch, and they don't know where I am. Other things, well, Purifier, which was also seen in the PP90 Bison loadout, just because I can sneak up to some objective and then I take it out and then I burn them down. And everything else is pretty self-explanatory. Pinpoint because I don't really need better movement. And Flashbang because again I can throw it in a area and then come with Purify. KN-44 used for two reasons. One, because I really like the gun. It has great headshot potential, great range. 38 rounds mag is quite sufficient. But the main reason it is here, it is basically to be a support to the Type 19 Ghost loadout. Because if Stealth Chop appears and I don't want to switch to FAJ for instance, or to BP50 for instance, I can just switch to KN-44 because it has a similar overall playstyle. And it's just the cold-blooded and lightweight here, so with cold-blooded I'm protected, with lightweight I move faster. And when Stealth Chop is taken down, or just disappears on itself, I can switch back to the Type 19. And like I said, cold-blooded also helps against sentry guns, shocker C, so if I see sentry gun I can also switch to this one. And of course I can even lead the game with the KN-44 loadout and just not use Type 19 in that match. So it is both a like support loadout and also pretty good just primarily loadout. Buffed Odin, and currently I have a more versatile variant of the gunsmith. And frankly, on one hand I really like using the gun, it is certainly a powerful meta, but on the other, the max size and slow firing rate, it does require you to be more focused. Even though I managed to trash some lobbies, which you can see in my Odin video, where I was just destroying everyone, but it does again require more focus. So like, if I'm tired or just have played a few hours, I would rather just use the PP90 Bison or BP50 or Type 19 or KN-44 or even Dirage, but not like Odin or HVK. And here I have the hardline just because I want to unlock Scorstrix faster and cold-blooded, so I would not have to be focused on stealth choppers while being focused on aiming. Like sure, I would get value from the quick fix, just like I did in HVK and Dirage loadouts with small mags, but this is not such case. I think it is a high power weapon, it is slow weapon, but I would just rather use cold-blooded, pair it with hardline so I can get with Scorstrix instead of having to use spread missile, and it really works. So the only downside would be, like again, like I said, the added focus. And this is one of the loadouts that I like using, but I might remove for something else. Just for this mentioned like skill, not even skill but focus requirement. Like it's great I can focus enough to make a video, but I do not just want to play it for long periods of time. And this is a bit of an experimental loadout of bringing MG42 back, because I saw some people are using it, and I actually had it in leaderboard, in global weapon leaderboard when it was released, but then I stopped using it because the gun is just too silly for me. But it has good potential to just win some games if you are spamming bullets at enemies from afar, and contribute to victory in such way. And this is just absolutely random because last night I was asked to snipe 1v1 and I of course lost because I'm not good with snipers, but it's just, yeah, I will remove it later. So concluding everything, what I hope you have put in your heads after watching this whole video is loadout switching is necessary if you see stealth chopper, or let's say you're using BP50, it is not fast enough, you switch to Fennec or some other similar aggressive SMG. Or you're using BP50 but it is just you get killed from afar, you switch to another assault rifle like Type 19. You're playing with Type 19, stealth chopper appears, you see sentry gun, you die, you take your other assault rifle that is also versatile and from similar niche like the KN-44. And so yeah, I hope that I explained all the details of the choosing of the perks, Scorstrix, guns, everything of my own, and that it made it understandable and clear why I chose those exact things instead of others. And probably HVK and Odin would be the loadouts that I don't use much, all others I use quite often. Well, MG42 is also new, so no, but all the others I'm using a lot. and I really like them, so this would be my explanation to the loadouts as well as the loadouts this season. And finally, what I expect you to do is to go to the comment section and write some observations of your own that you do, write what you find valuable, write what I could improve on. And the goal, like I said, is for us, for my viewers, for maybe new viewers, for me, to just watch this video, to read the comments, and to just find the best ways to creating the best loadouts ever, and to the best strategies to use them in game. Because I want to do better, I want you to do better, because we might be a same team in lobbies. And even enemies, like I don't want to fight against bad enemies because it is just bad video content that I cannot even use. And overall not fun to just destroy bots.